Hello, my name is Tobias Jacoby. I'm the strength coach at Strong Rock Christian School and the editor of video, print, and content for the NHSSCA, along with being the Georgia State Director for the NHSSCA. I come to you today talking about a Facebook post that was on our Facebook page today that I thought was something that I wanted to address, and probably the easiest way to do it would be via video. So that's why we're shooting this here. I think it's also important that I share this specifically with our membership, because I think it's important that as we move forward, we grow our membership and we put value into the content of our website. So that's why another reason I wanted to make this video. What I'm going to talk today about is multiple training level programming. And basically what it is giving a kid what they need when they need it. At the high school level, you deal with so many different types of athlete, whether it's chronological age, training age, abilities, issues, deficiencies. There's a lot of different things that can factor into prescribing a training program for a certain child. I'm going to give you how we do it here at Strong Rock. Hopefully it'll cultivate some ideas that you have and help your program. So with the presentation, first off, I'll give you our training template. Our training template stays the same, but what we do is predicated off of our classification and our program breakdown. Secondly is our sport classification, or artillery, cavalry, and infantry. And then honestly, I'll give you examples of how, if I were in a different situation, as far as if I trained just a single team at one time, how I would break it down for those kids. Then I'll talk about our program breakdown, and I'll go into detail as far as our organization, our physical assessments, our attitude, and then into each program as far as what we have going on in the weight room at one time. So our training template, we believe in training explosively. So Monday we'll start off by being our explosive lower body movement. We'll superset that. You will should have a PDF with this video, so you'll have all this information. Monday is our heavy squat day. One thing that we all will do, all our kids will front squat, all our kids will power clean, all our kids will bench press. Other than those three things, everything else is based off of their classification and the program that they're in. And then finally, the last thing we'll do on a Monday will be our single leg exercise. Tuesday, we'll do an upper body explosive movement. Then that's the day we'll heavy bench press. Again, we have supersets with all those. Wednesday, that's the day we heavy power clean. Again, we'll supersetting exercises as well. And then Thursday is when we'll do our assistive lower body and our assistive upper body work. And basically our template's set up because of the time limitations we have in our certain situation. It's not ideal, but it works well for us. Friday, you can see we do a lot of different things. Maybe we do speed and quickness work. Maybe we do agility. Maybe we do core. Fridays are really tough around here, so we kind of have a lot of different things that we can do on that day. Our sport classification: artillery, cavalry, and infantry. Our artillery are our sports where you don't have to really absorb load in competition. Typically, it's an implement sport, so that's going to be our pitchers, our cheerleaders, equestrian, golf, cross country, tennis, shooting, and our distance kids in track and field. So those are going to be those athletes. Cavalry, now we're talking about our position players in baseball and softball. We're talking about basketball, soccer, contact sports, track and field, our sprinters and jumpers, and then our volleyball kids. And then infantry are the sports that you have to be able to absorb a load for competition, typically your collision sports. So we're talking football, our throwers, and our wrestlers. Now, how would I apply this? I train many different sports at one time in our classes. If I trained a football class, this is how I would apply it. Same principle in respect of artillery, cavalry, infantry. My skill kids would do one thing, my combo kids would do another, my linemen would do another. I utilized that system at the collegiate level for years, had a lot of success with it. Same thing in baseball. My artillery kids would be pitchers, my combo kids who pitch and play the field would be my cavalry guys, and my position players only will be my infantry kids. Basketball, track and field have been doing that for years as well. So this is just to give you an idea, if you train just a certain team, how you can still utilize this type of system. Now, our program breakdown, this is really something very unique, very in-depth that we do. There's a lot of assessment with this. but I think what it allows me to do is give a kid a training program exactly to meet the needs of where they physiologically, emotionally, maturity, things along those lines are at that time. So our organization and promotion, students can move from program classifications 6 weeks. Cycles, honestly, the reason I chose 6 weeks is because that's what fits on a sheet, and we'll bump the training max up every 3 to 5% each 6 weeks. Promotion or demotion can be dictated by a lot of different things: chronological age, training age, strength abilities, movement screen score, and their athlete's attitude. That, when we talk about athlete's attitude, you're talking about maturity and how far what they're taking, what they feel, how hard they work, and that so on and so forth. Each training sheet has off-season, in-season, and game day modifications. Everything we base is off of our normal training for our off-season protocol, and then we 15% lower in volume and intensity for in-season, and then our in-season is actually 15% lower in volume and intensity than our in-season. Our game day is lower than our in-season. So again, you have the PDF with this, so it'll make sense. Our physical assessments, part of what we do as far as assessing our kids, we 1RM in the bench squat, in the front squat, and the power clean. We take the strength index, which is their 3 lift total divided by their body weight. Then we also do a movement screen with overhead squats, sit-ups, pull-ups, modified hop and stop and sit and reach. I have a scoring system we utilize that for. That's on a 12-point system. And what we'll do is that'll give me a score, and I'll know where they're at as far as that goes, being predisposed to injury. The athlete's attitude. I mentioned it earlier. I stole this from Brian Clark at Noblesville High School in Indiana, and it's been a tremendous benefit for me. It's given me a way to quantify, honestly, how much I trust my kids. I had a conversation years ago with Pat Ivey, who was at Missouri at the time, is now at Arkansas State, and he made a great statement to me. For years and years and years, I had predicated my training programs based off of the physical capabilities of the athlete. And he made a great statement where he said, we don't give a kid advanced training protocol if we don't trust them. That makes perfect sense, and I feel like an idiot for not knowing that and thinking about it. But if you're going to give a kid advanced things to do, you better trust them a whole bunch, because the risk for injury is higher the more advanced exercises that you prescribe. So we utilize this with our kids. We have a big board up in our weight room, and they see it every day. This is an example of our sheet, so you can see how it has the off-season, in-season, game day in there, and you can see the training protocol for that aspect. Now, go ahead and get into our program. This is our base program. This is basically our block 0 type of programming. This is something that every single kid, the first time they come in the weight room at the high school level, will go through, and it's a 9-week progression. And basically, we work the front squat, bench press, and power clean progressions. We'll also work in developing wrist mobility, core strength stability, and ankle and hip mobility. So those are the areas we'll focus on when we do a lot of our supersets. So you can work through the progressions. You can see those. Very simple. Again, I would refer to your PDF just for time's sake in that respect. Our blue program, this is typically for our 9th graders. This is a linear periodized program. How you can see this is basically broken down. Now we have minimums that you have to hit to be in this program after they go through the base program. Typically we will test. That will give us their numbers as far as which program they go into. Now, if I have a kid who tests and he beats this and actually hits the numbers for the next program up, as long as he hits all of the next program up's numbers, I will fast track them 1 level. If I have an athlete who does not hit, say a 12th grader doesn't hit our top level training program, I will bump them down. I will only promote 1 level, but if a kid's got a bad attitude, if they have a bad movement screen score and they're really weak, then their level of training is going to could be in the 9th grade level. I have had that happen, but it's what that kid needed at that time. So you have the bench press, squat, front squat, strength index, power clean numbers. Gives you we talk about the linear periodization type model. Our accessory focus is on hypertrophy. Movement screen scores of 5. Athlete's attitudes at the kind of the bottom of the spectrum. There you go is our base programming for our blue program. Scarlet program, that's typically for our 10th graders. We utilize in this, you can see our numbers are higher as far as what it takes to be in this program. We also now utilize what's called the climbing method. I stole that from Ethan Reeves, who was at Wake Forest, now at Tennessee Chattanooga. And basically you start off with a moderate volume, moderate intensity, increase in volume and intensity over the course of time. And it works really well for our kids at this level. We've raised the movement screen score and the attitude as well. Give you an idea, here's an example of the programming at that level. Patriot program, this is our 11th grade program. Julian played for me at Kent State, great kid. But again, now you can see our numbers have been raised as far as what we should be, and those are percentages of their body weights for male and females, just so you understand our lift requirement. You have to hit 3 out of the 4 physical requirements. We now utilize a 3-week mini cycle format in our training. I stole that from Bill Gillespie at Liberty University. We used it a lot at East Carolina. We don't have time to utilize the full 3-week mini cycle program, but we do use a version of it and an idea of it. Again, now we're starting to also utilize some dynamic effort training in our accessory work. Our movement screen score is higher and our athletes' attitude's higher. And again, you can see that as far as the training protocol. Again, I would suggest referring to the PDF with this video. Our last program, this is our BEAST program. This is our 12th grade program. There should be for our 12th graders. Again, you can see the numbers are higher. Now we're using a max effort type of periodization with our kids. Again, dynamic effort is our focus on our accessory work. Movement screen score is high. Athlete's attitude is high. Honestly, right now, when I make this video, my 4 kids, and I don't have many that are in this program, all are juniors. And it's because, again, I will bump up a level. And so this is the level that they're at because they've hit all these numbers. Now, again, this is how we do our periodization, basically, per se. We'll work to a max 5 the first week, a max 3 the second week, max single the third week, then go back up to the max 5, max 3, max 1 for the front squat. You can see the bench press and the power clean as well. I really appreciate your time. I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, my contact information is on here. If you're interested in contributing to our site as a member, please contact me, email, messenger, call me, whatever. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.